Hey, what's up guys, it is, and yes you have guessed it right, Deathstalker Singer here with another video from Helldivers, and this one I will be going over the Demolitionist DLC. This is one of 4 DLC packs that I released just last week Tuesday, unless you're watching this video at another time. The other DLC packs that came along with it were the Specialist DLC pack, the Hazard Ops DLC pack, and the Pilot DLC pack. All of which, like I said, released just last week. The Specialist was one of the ones that was separate from it, so that means the Hazard and the Demolitionist and the Pilot were all grouped together in what is called the Reinforcement 2 pack, or Reinforcement Pack number 2, in which they're all 3 bundled together for $5.99. But this video is focusing on the Demolitionist Pack. Now, what is the Demolitionist Pack? The Demolitionist Pack, as it says exactly in the description, it says, Helldiver Demolitionists are experts at tearing things down and blowing things up. They are rumored to be uncareful when landing explosives, though that is most likely just their familiarity with explosives being misinterpreted. Now, the Demolitionist Pack contains, of course, the Demolitionist Uniform, which is the helmet, armor, and cape that come associated with this pack of DLC, the MG-105 Stalwart light machine gun, and then also the Rec 6 Demolisher, which is what is called the C4 by some people, or the remote explosive, which is a stratagem. But before I get into any of that, I have to, of course, thank Dean Rollins for his assistance in this video. He was one of the guys I played with well, actually, as soon as this DLC dropped, we both jumped into a game. He fortunately have a ton of research points and fully upgraded all the gear, literally minutes after like buying it, in which case he brought some fully maxed out and like level Rec 6 Demolisher, the remote explosives, and allowed me to borrow such because he recognized my the fact that I was short on research points at the time, in which case I did not have the chance to fully upgrade it, so I got to try it out, of course, in its low level state as well as its high level state. So I want to go ahead and say thanks to him for that, because that was really awesome for him to do. Now, of course, the first thing we're going to start off with is the Demolitionist Uniform, the helmet, armor, and cape that you get when you, of course, buy this pack and put it on your Helldiver, of course. Now, as you can see right here in the video, that is how the armor looks in both male and female form. Now, as you can clearly see right here in the video, that is how it looks. This is one of my favorite uniforms for Helldivers. I mean, honestly, this guy looks like the ultimate fucking badass with the grenade launcher strapped across his shoulder pads and everything. It just looks like he comes to bring the boom. That's exactly what it is. As well as that cape. That damn cape is nice as shit. I mean, honestly, look at it. This guy clearly wins Cape of the Year award. Just look at that thing. It is honestly one of my favorite capes right now. That shoulder pad assortment right there is one of my favorites. Actually, the Reinforcement Pack 2 contains one of the best, or some of the best uniforms that you can get in Helldivers, in which case, man, usually I would be like, I would buy, or just upgrade, or level up, or whatever, and get some new uniform items, you know, be it a helmet, a cape, armor, whatever it is, and I'd say, oh, let me try this out because it's new, and I'd put it on because it's new, and because it's fresh and new, and therefore, you know, because there's any scratches or cracks in it, I generally would play with it more. But when it comes to the Reinforcement Pack, these armors look so much better, to the fact that I was actually stuck trying to figure out which one should I wear. I still have not decided, but it just looks so damn good. I mean, look at this guy and gal. Look at them. I mean, get a good look. Look at that helmet. Look at that shoulder pad. Look at that cape. It is some pretty damn good things there. Whoever did this, whatever team, you know, put this together, they deserve, deserve a applaud. They deserve an award. This is I'm honestly in love with it. Honestly, just look at it. Really look at it. But we'll move on, of course, because I'm not going to just go over in this entire video the armor, which I would love to do, because I mean, the guy looks like a badass. But in short, like I said, he brings the boom. That's what this armor is like. You're a big guy, you know, or not a big guy, just a big person on explosions. You want to wreck things, you want to blow things up, you want to look like you bring the boom to the match. This guy is what you go with right here. Not only in equipment, both in looks. This guy brings, like I said, the boom. Now, next up, of course, that is not armor, is the MG-105 Stalwarts, which is, believe it or not, an LMG. Yeah, we've got an LMG, not like the stratagem calling one, an actual primary LMG. At first glance, not even first glance, the first use of it, the mag is a bit small, the recoil is out of this world. I mean, like, honestly, you will sight on a guy, fire from you, pull the trigger, and you will hit a satellite. Okay, maybe not that bad, but it is pretty damn intense. One thing I recommend, if you're going to use this gun, hit a research point into that recoil absorption. Drop it down. That is the first grade and one of these only two that comes with the Stalwart. Go for it right away. The reason for this is, like I said, the recoil is pretty intense. You don't want to be stuck in a fight where the enemies are closing in and you can't put the shots at the center of mass. So therefore, remember that you need to upgrade this as fast as possible. So put that first point in. I do recommend it. After that, the gun performs marvelously. But if you really want to go really all out, put another point or two into that that extended mag, because once that drag mag gets filled up, it is just relentless. I mean, this should be called the Relentless LMG. That's practically what it is. I have not been using the stratagem version, the stratagem LMG, so I can't really compare the two, but I did play with somebody recently that does have it maxed out, and he told me that while I forgot what it's called, the stratagem LMG, when it's maxed out, of course, it is the top, friggin' LMG out there. It destroys and rips apart everything. But he did say when the Stalwart is maxed out, it does compete with this, and in ways does somehow beat it in some ways because of its maneuverability. He said it's a lot lighter weight, so therefore you can maneuver around with a lot better. I believe it was, I'm sorry if I screw up your name, it's reduced to dust, I believe it is. In which case, thank you, dude, because I don't have a maxed LMG, so all I got is the Stalwart to really go on this for. But thanks for the inputs. Now, as for its strengths, like I said, high damage, high rate of fire. Once you get that recoil absorption, it's not a bad weapon on recoil. Not too many weaknesses to this gun. Just recommend upgrading it, of course. Like I said, it is relentless. It has a massive mag once you do upgrade it. Before then, it is still a large mag, but you will chew through it pretty easily. Reload speed, I guess, is the only weakness I can say. Once you get to more extreme ranges, of course, the rounds will spread out, so you need to fire in burst, and even when you do that, it will be a lot harder to hit the center of mass of the enemy units. I will say, against the Illuminists, perfect weapon, because you don't necessarily need to hit the center of mass when they have those shields up, so you can guarantee these rounds that they'll just chewing through these guys. But at the same time, you want to hit the center of mass, so usually do closing pretty good. I will say, this gun, it actually performs quite well. And like I said, this is one of my favorite DLC packs, particularly for the armor, of course, and the cape. Oh, that cape. But the LMG, the Stalwarts, this is an actual LMG. Just upgrade it, because when you max that thing out, it is a beast, and I do mean that, a beast. And last but definitely, and I mean definitely not least, is the Rex 6 Demolisher, which was dubbed during the Turn Up the Heat trailer the C4, the deployable explosives. I called it the C5, C6, C7 because it's the future, and therefore it can't be C4. This thing is a record. I mean, well, not a record. No, it's a Demolisher. There's a reason why it's called a Demolisher. At the first level, you get about, I think it's 3 packs of explosives per drop. It is a stratagem, of course. You call it in, it drops it. It takes the place of any secondary weapon you would have, meaning that, or your second primary weapon, I guess you can say. So you won't be able to run around with the grenade launcher or any missile launchers while you have this, or the Tox 13, which is or the flamethrower. You won't be able to use one of those while you have this. It does take that slot up, but for a good use, like I said, it's deployable explosives that you throw like a grenade, in which you can hold it down to throw it farther, or drop it at your feet. You can throw multiple of them out, and then you hold the reload button, or you press the reload button, and therefore it detonates it. And it detonates all the deployed ones at the same time. If you have 2 packs available, like on the ground, and you pick one up and throw 5 of them out, and then switch to the other one and try to detonate, it only goes to the one that's the explosives were thrown to. So you can't throw out 10 of them and then hit the detonate button and detonate all 10 of them. It's not going to work that way. One of the great perks to this is that it is not a limited use stratagem. It is unlimited cooldowns, meaning you can call down as many as you want. My favorite thing to do is, what I stole from a buddy of mine, Dean, is max it out, of course, put on stratagem priority, and then toss one out, grab it up, and then later on watch to make sure, wait for that thing to hit 3, 2, 1, and then drop another one for your buddy, because these things can wreck some guys. It's like packing some very high explosive grenades, except you can blow them up whenever you feel like it, which is an awesome thing. It is very high damage. Later on when you do, because the first upgrade is I believe, to upgrade the maximum amount of explosives you can carry with you, and then the second one is the damage, of course. And once you do that, it is a vicious monster. I mean, honestly, it can drop these, even the behemoths. I dropped the behemoth in one hit. Not exactly sure how, because I struggled with them later on, but I think maybe I threw it in the right spot, maybe I detonated, yeah, maybe I detonated in the right spot. But it did drop in one hit. I took out an Illusionist one hit once. It does a lot of damage. It has a nice type of splash. It is, you know, top of the line effective. It does compete with the slot for my Obliterator, the grenade launcher, because I do have that maxed out with the incendiary grenades, and it does compete with it, but it is a lot stronger, so therefore, of course, it's probably going to win out. The maximum you can carry, by the way, is 5. Like I said, it's a remote explosive. It does have those anti-tank capabilities, just to put those things out there. Unlimited cooldowns. It's not even a hard button combination. I think it's like 5 buttons you press in which case you call it in. Thing is a beast. It is honestly just a beast. There's a reason why they call it a Demolisher, and I fucking love it. Honestly, that's just it. I'm not the only one. Other people that have played with it, they fall in love with it as well. Once you max it out, get that damage up there, it wrecks guys so well that, you know, you can't help but fall in love with it. It's freaking awesome. Now it is time for the verdict, of course. Should you buy this thing? Is it worth it? Should you love it? Whether you will love it? All that other stuff, of course, said right now. And, well, bottom line is, I wish I had a drum roll. That would be pretty awesome right now to make a nice dramatic effect before I say it. Instead, I'm just going to keep on talking. I'll just keep going and keep going. I say buy this thing, okay? That's just it. Buy it. If you don't mind putting $2 or $3 extra down, go for the whole Reinforcement Pack 2. Because get all 3 DLCs, and that would be freaking sweet. Bought separately, say you don't have the dollars, or you only want to buy one pack, you only have, I don't know, some leftover change from, you know, a previous game that you bought, and it's only like $3 in your account, and you don't mind buying one of these things separately, I say go for it. This thing is pretty sweet. Like I said, the armor I fucking love. The Stalwart is an amazing gun once it's leveled up. You will, of course, need to level up. At base level, it's just not too effective, so I will note that. The Rex 6 is a very capable stratagem, and I'm probably going to start using it on every loadout from now on, especially against the bugs, especially against the tanks. You know, cyborgs just like to spam you with tanks, so I will say I recommend it. Go for it, buy it. If you're going to buy a single pack, go for this one right here. It is sweet, especially if you're like, you know, want to bring something explosive. If you doubt the capabilities of the rocket launchers and the grenade launchers and other such things, the anti-tank mines, this thing is a great alternative, especially since it goes between those type of areas. You can deploy them to make your own like kind of mini minefield, or you can throw them and, you know, same function as a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher, but instead you can leave it there and wait for the guy to come back across it and then detonate it. Whichever way you want to use it, it's a lot more versatile than the other anti-tank capabilities, of course. And like I said, this whole pack actually is pretty damn good. I would recommend buying it even solo. This is like the first one I've said, and like the only one I've said to buy singly. I'm not saying to buy it singly, but if you're only going to buy one, this would be the one. I mean, its anti-tank capabilities are above just about everything else out there. Not on damage, but just in its versatility and its use of it. Go for it, definitely. Now guys, as you can see, this concludes the video. Of course, don't cry. Don't worry, I will have more videos up. In fact, you can click on any one of these videos right here on the screen, unless you're on a mobile platform, in which you can click that small icon in the top right corner to find more Helldivers videos. I will, of course, be uploading more. You can also like this video if you did like it, dislike it if you disliked it, I don't mind that. You can subscribe to my channel where I have more Helldivers videos, of course, and more videos of the games. You can even comment down below with any questions or anything else you need to put in. Maybe I forgot to cover something, maybe there's a great use you can use for the Rex 6. Put it down in the comment section. Your fellow Helldivers will greatly appreciate that. I know that for certain. Remember, you can always find me on Twitter. You can find me on Google+. You can find me on PSN, of course. DS_synchro. Let me say that again. DS_synchro. And you can now find me on Facebook, which I have just finally taken the plunge. And you can find me on Facebook as well. All links are in the description.